Hello there friends, Nintendo held their last Indie World Direct showcase, whatever they call their Nindies thing nowadays, today, and it was a really damn good one. Like, there was a lot of cool games, and games that I think people are excited for sequels to, and games in which genres I didn't know I needed to exist, but now I need to absolutely play. And like, there was games like The Survivalists, which is an escapist spin-off, Skatebird, which is a game where you play as a bird on a skateboard. There's really not much else you need to know, but I will go through my usual top 5 things that they revealed today at Indie World. Because, indies are good. Starting with number 5, cheating slightly, there were 2 shadow drops. Tallis Principle and Dauntless are both available today on Nintendo Switch. The Tallis Principle is a game that I bought on Steam a very, very long time ago. It's like a physics puzzler kind of deal. It's a puzzle game. It's a nice looking puzzle game. And I'm like, I want a nice looking puzzle game. But then I forgot that I never, ever, ever play games on Steam. I don't play games on PC unless they're like text sims. Text sims are the only thing I really play on PC. So I fool myself into buying games on Steam and then never play them. So I might actually play the Tallis Principle on Switch, because the Switch is a console I'll play in bed and just play a game randomly. And the Tallis Principle might be one of them. Dauntless is basically, I don't want to say a Monster Hunter clone, it's more than that, but it is a Monster Hunter inspired game in which you team up with people and beat people up, and that is free to play starting today on Nintendo Switch. So two shadow drops. I thought we were getting Hollow Knight Silk Song today. I thought that was going to be the shadow drop, but no. They just revealed Gleam Light instead, which is as close to a Hollow Knight clone as you'll ever possibly see in your life. Number 4, and this game fascinates me, Super Mash. It's a game in which you choose 2 genres, and then the game invents the game. I don't know how it works. So if you choose like an RPG and a platformer, it will deliver you some kind of RPG platformer. Or if you choose a shoot 'em up and a brawler, I don't know, I'm just picking genres. It'll form a game out of it. And I'm like, how the hell does that work? How does it have that many games in this one game? I'm fascinated, like, is it just like a 10-minute experience where it's just like, oh, there's 2 levels of platforming where you fight a boss at the end? Or is it like some deep, thorough experience? It looks like this game blew my mind, because it's like, how does this work? How does it create games? It's a game that creates games. More out of like intrigue to see how the hell this game actually functions on a gameplay level. I want this game. It's out in May 2020, and I want it badly. Speaking of wanting badly, I'm a big Picross fan. If you play Nintendo Switch, you'll realize there is plenty of Picross games on Nintendo Switch. It was because Picross is like the best puzzle game. It's so satisfying just to clear those boards. I'm not like particularly mathematically inclined either. I work them out more on the logic side than the math side. But Picross rules. And Nintendo revealed today Murder by Numbers, which seems to be a murder mystery Picross game, which is a mashup of genres I did not know I needed, but desperately need. That is the game I want. It's coming in early 2020, and I need it. I want this Picross puzzle game so badly. It looks fantastic, and it has great art and music. I want it. Whoever thought that we should put Picross and a detective game together? They are the smartest people in the history of humanity. That is the kind of genre mashup that I want out of indie games. People are making the same old like survival games or crafting games, and here comes these people coming along being like, let's set a murder mystery in 1990s Hollywood and you solve puzzles using Picross. It's perfect. It's all I ever want in life. Most people probably come away like, oh, the Skatebird game looks pretty cool, but I'm not like, nope, Picross. Number 2, the main event, the one more thing reveal. They revealed Axiom Verge 2, which for the longest time when there wasn't a Metroid game being released, before they released the 3DS one, everyone was like, yo, we want a Metroid game. And then they made Axiom Verge, which is basically a Metroid game. It's an indie Metroidvania that developed a cult audience because it basically filled the hole. It was one of the first games, anyway, that filled that Metroidvania hole that Metroid was leaving. And everyone was very happy back in the Wii U PS3 generation. And the game was developed by Tom Howe, by himself. He's the sole artist, developer, and musician on the game. He built the whole game. It's a one-man show, which is always like mind-blowing. How do you build a whole game by yourself? Their big reveal here, their show closer, was Axiom Verge 2 coming to Nintendo Switch in fall of 2020 was the official release window they gave for it. It'll still fill the void of Metroid games on Switch. I guess there's Super Metroid and Metroid on Nintendo Online, but there's still no Metroid games on Switch, so Axiom Verge will fill that hole. As I think it's a prequel to the original as well, in fall 2020. And then, of course, the most important game, the biggest game, the first game they revealed, the sequel to Golf Story, Sports Story. Now, Golf Story is like one of my favorite Switch games. Golf Story is tremendous. It's a golf game that's not a golf game. It's just like a comedy that also happens to feature golf as its primary mechanic. But it's also a pretty solid golf game as well. And there's like frisbee golf and drone golf, I think they called it. Golf Story, phenomenal game. Hilarious game. Great game. You should play Golf Story if you haven't played Golf Story. And now we're getting the sequel. In mid-2020, they're releasing Sports Story, which is Golf Story, but with more sports. There's like golf and fishing and tennis and football, and there's dungeons and there's minigames and espionage. Oh, I'm so excited. I was so happy. Like, realistically, they won me over immediately with Sports Story. Just give me a Golf Story sequel, and that is all I need in my life. God, that game's great, and I'm very excited to play a sequel, especially because a sequel that seems to be not radically different. If you look at it, you can clearly identify that it is a Golf Story sequel, but mechanically it seems to have so much more going on. Sports Story. I'm very excited for Sports Story. They could have just like Sports Story and nothing else, and I would have been like 10 out of 10 Indies Direct, Sports Story Game of the Year 2020. So that was today's Indie World Showcase, which I think that's 3 of them this year, and they're 3 for 3. Like, these have been really good this year. They had the Microsoft reveals, they had Cuphead, like, they're revealing Cuphead and Ori, and the other 2 were like, whoa, and they revealed Cadence of Hyrule in one of them. So yeah, the indie showcases this year have been really, really damn good. So credit to Nintendo. You are delivering with your indie showcases. Nintendo's directs and showcases, all of them, great stuff this year. I think they held them until they actually had stuff to show, which I think might be Sony's problem a little with the states of play. I think they're doing too many of them when they don't have enough to show, whereas Nintendo were like, we'll hold them off these days and do them when we have plenty to unload on you. And then they seem great, because they're great. And Sports Story. Thank you so much for watching. On your left, my top 10 Wii U games. On your right, my evolution of the Legend of Zelda title screens. Thanks for watching.